Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I thought that I would do a quick pattern haul since my kids are about to go to school next week, so I thought I would just do something really quick. So starting out with this pattern that I saw from McCalls. It's a vintage pattern, vintage reproduction. If you open it, you have vintage instructions, which is really almost what I'm after from some of these patterns. Sizing on them is really limited. So if you buy any of these patterns, just really pay attention to that. So this is McCalls 8402. I really liked view C, and I also liked view B with the V neckline, but I also like view A with kind of like the side slit. And obviously this is a very easy pattern to make. I could probably even draft this on my own, but for $2, why not, right? And like I mentioned, see like the largest size range. So I'm gonna have to do a little grading on my own. I'm not daunted by it. I actually fit in there. So again, I got this pattern. And talking about patterns and styles like this, guys, I also bought the True Bias Aster dress. And I'll put a picture up, and I hope YouTube doesn't take that away. But I went ahead and I made a muslin of the top, and I'm already having to make some corrections because True Bias patterns are drafted for C cups and I am B cups, so I'm having to do a small bust adjustment and a couple of other things. But if that doesn't work out, there's always this, right? And then I also got this pattern is McCalls 8405. And I have to say, I do not understand why they picked this view to make this view, because I think this really loses the beauty of this dress. And I got it solely because I saw this designer on Pinterest, and I'm gonna put a picture up so you guys can see it. Do you see the pattern or you see the dress? It's a denim dress, and the top stitching is almost like white silver. I can't tell. I wish I could like have that dress and look at it with infinite details, but it looks very similar to view C, kind of like with the cups and on the top stitching. So I got that pattern, and then I'm going to also try to see if I can draft the little purse that that model is wearing with this pattern. I think this would be a great transition pattern towards the fall if I were to do denim on this, which I probably will. I'll probably do like a light stretch denim on this and then play with the top stitching. So got that. I've also passed up on this pattern many times from Lisette, but I thought that I saw a lot of people making the Just Patterns vest, and I've never tested out that designer. I know she's an independent, and I probably talked to like 5 people about that pattern. They give it great marks, but right now I'm really loving the vest, and perhaps with like a matching pair of pants. I don't know if I would do something white. Summer is, as of next week, it is over in my house. But I'm thinking this would be beautiful and kind of like a suiting fabric. And keep it somewhat casual, maybe even with like a long pair of pants with a suiting on top. I know that these pockets are false welt pockets, so I'm looking forward to making it. You guys probably think, Alex, you should probably have this pattern in the stash, but guys, I do not have some of these older Vogue patterns. And again, I am looking for things with V-neck, perhaps not so much plunging neckline, but I don't know if you guys know about this pattern. It's the Lewis dress from Tessuti Patterns. I love that pattern, and for some reason I've heard mixed reviews on it. It looks beautiful on the people that have it, but this looks pretty similar, so I am going to try that. It is an older pattern, This is another pattern that I got. Again, another vintage reproduction. It's from McCalls. It's M8380. I love, love, love this. And again, it has authentic pattern reproduction instructions, which I love. And if you are not into that, I know that Raven Maureen just did a video so long for this, and she used a seersucker, very pretty. I probably will want to know what kind of support or undergarments are in this pattern. If it's not, definitely need to look at some sort of undergarment supports besides a one strap bra, which perhaps that might be it. But I thought this pattern was beautiful. I'm somewhat interested in the finished garment measurements, right? It only gives you the waist for the waist measurement, so it'll be interesting to see if there's printed instructions, or not printed instructions, but printed measurements. I also got this pattern from Vogue. It's Vogue 1885, and no, I'm not going to a party anytime soon. I got this pattern just to learn more about construction. It is a vintage pattern, and I also knew that this pattern would have some sort of support, right? Again, if this doesn't have it, this I knew for sure would, because it's a Vogue pattern. It does have a corset in there, and it is really interesting to see the instructions and how they built the corset, and then also add in the fabric on top of that. So just wanted to get this pattern mostly to kind of learn a little bit more about constructions of, I would say, of evening dresses, because I don't have a whole lot of things in this stash like this, but perhaps there is some more of that construction, kind of like internal structure construction for dresses that I really want to learn more. So I thought that this pattern would be a good one for that. Here's another oldie but goodie. This is a pretty old Vogue pattern, but guys, I do not have this in my stash, and I'm really trying to look for things with princess themes. I thought this would be a great one for it, so I got it. It has a skirt, it has the white leg culottes, so I thought this was a good one for the stash, especially since I don't have it. Another great pattern that I've heard about, that it's been around for a long time. I love that it has custom fit for cup sizes. That's always nice. So again, I went ahead and got it. A little bit different from this one, right? Because we have a princess seams, and here you have darts. So just kind of playing a couple of things. And I'm also trying to play with some patterns that don't have as many pieces, plackets, colors, and things like that, just because I bought a couple of fabrics with really large prints. So I definitely want to play with some of that. I got this pattern, and I've told you guys many times that in my Joann's, somehow the bottom drawer is filled with a lot of these really older patterns that get great reviews online, and then the top drawer is filled with really large envelope patterns, and some of those patterns have been there for 10 years. It is so funny to kind of pull out some of them, and I know that they add in patterns little by little into that stash, because I went in there today and the top drawer was very full again. So I said, I'll be coming this weekend to kind of check things out and see what else they have in there. But this is a raglan sleeves t-shirt. I know that this is one of those patterns that I will make 10 times over and be very happy about it. So I got it. It has a little bit more of like a feminine silhouette for these, which is a little bit more fitted versus a little bit more loose. And I don't know if you guys work with raglan sleeves. Sometimes they can be a little bit challenging to really fit nicely in a woven in a woven pattern. So knit is obviously a little bit more forgiving, but you always get a little bit of extra pulling right there on the raglan sleeves. So I thought I would grab this this knit pattern and try that. I got this pattern knits. I have a ton of knit fabric that I haven't even touched, that I haven't even showed you guys, but I've gotten a lot of knits, probably like 2 to 3 yards for some of these. And I thought I just need something fun, quick that I can make. And I got this pattern. I also have this pattern for my daughter. Got myself this pattern because this is Nome 2033. This is designed by alllll. She's on Instagram. Wonderful person. If you follow her on Instagram, she dyes some of her own clothes. She takes the leaps of faith and she lands on their feet. But I love this pattern. It is a coordinating set. And I thought this pattern is great for perhaps like scraps, or perhaps to make it into shorts, keep it into long pants, even make a skirt. So I got this pattern because I know that it's one of those patterns that I can hack and make a lot of different things with it. And again, a coordinating set. I know that Tilly and the Buttons came out with her ST pattern, but I just felt like it was just too simple for me to pay indie prices, and I thought that this was a better option. Again, some of these older patterns that have been around for quite some time, and right now I'm also trying to make just easier garments. If you guys are seeing what I'm telling you, what I'm buying and what I'm making, I'm trying to make somewhat easier garments just so I can make them. They're tried and true, that I can wear them in my house, that I can walk out the door, go to the store, go to the grocery store, and just go about my life. So this is another one of those patterns. I love the top. The skirt is super easy to make. You could just cut a square and just put elastic and you're good to go. And then, of course, I fell down the Etsy rabbit hole, and I told you on my last video that I am really trying to make some patterns with some sort of cutouts, but nothing that is showing so much skin. I'm older, that showing skin on the front, on the sides, and it's just not gonna go well with me. So I thought that this was a great pattern. And guys, if you try to buy this pattern, this is not available as a printed pattern from Burda in the United States. I found somebody out in Europe that was selling this pattern, and I went ahead and got it. Don't ask me what the shipping was. I was just one of those crazy down the Etsy rabbit hole that my husband says, "You bought another pattern, didn't you?" I'm like, yes, I did. So it came in today. This is how it came. It doesn't have an envelope. It is essentially just wrapped in plastic, but there it is. It's a pretty simple pattern, elastic waist. And then in the back, I don't know if you guys can see it right there, it has a back opening. So I thought that was fun. So I got it. And it's in my size. Look at that. I also bought another pattern from Burda, and I don't know where it's at. I'm working on it, so I don't know where it's at. Guys, I also got this pattern. Let me see if I can kind of put it closer. It is a vintage pattern. It is Simplicity 5489. I got it out of a vintage pattern dealer out of Florida. She was very forthcoming that the pattern has seen, I want to say, better days, but the old owner of this pattern did use it. It's kind of fun to open it and see where she cut the pattern, where she used the little wheel to cut out the darts. So I got it. I'm going to do a little drafting on my own of this pattern, because this pattern, of course, it's a smaller size. See the bust size? Yes. But I'm going to use this, which is a sloper, right? To be able to copy this pattern. And I don't know if you guys do that, but again, that's why you have a sloper. That's why you measure your sloper and you're really good at that, right? So I'm going to use this to be able to fit this pattern. I love view 1 with the little open back, and it has a little bow in the back. It is adorable. And then there is a pattern, kind of like, and I've kind of separated because the instructions are super duper, they are really fragile. I've had to use archival, like special tape to put some things together. It was sent out to me originally the way it's done, but I had to tape, unfortunately, a couple of things, which some people that if, you know, you're a vintage pattern dealer, a lot of them don't like using tape and things like that because things do wear out over time. And it's okay. I'm not thinking that I'm going to sell this to anybody at any point. I am actually going to use this pattern. So I wanted to make sure that it lasts me. And I had to, it's so funny, I had to iron it. And this pattern is from 1964, so older than me. But I had to iron it. And it is crazy how tissue paper, you can still iron it and it just works the same way. But I don't know if you guys can see it right there. There are a couple of rips and things from the original owner, but I really like the vintage instructions from these older patterns because I was just reading some of these and you learn a ton of things about construction, about hems, just from reading the instructions. So that's what I got it. So guys, that is it for my patterns. I know that Simplicity came out with their fall patterns, and I'm sure Vogue will be hopefully in 2-3 weeks. So let me know in the comments below if you have purchased any new patterns recently. I would love to know. And I will see you next week, which I really have a really useful video for you guys. It's taking me this whole week to research all of that, but that is almost ready to go. I'm hoping to videotape. So make sure to tune next week. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And I will see you next week. Bye.